Okay, just wanted to get a quick video of the technical closet. This is just like a little doorway at the end, at the foot of the mid cab. I'm sort of have to lay down to get in here. But you can see this backboard was here already with the boat, and it's got a battery charger. It's actually a 3-channel battery charger. And then there's 2 ACS switches there. And so actually Jeanneau didn't do a very good job of labeling any of this stuff. So I had to trace most of this back. So initially, and you can't really see it because like above this on the other side over there is like where the battery switches are at the end of the galley. There's like a little panel there where all of the battery switches are. And so the way it came, the port and the house were essentially the same thing, and then the starboard was standalone. And so I've changed it, and so this is the original like port bus bar that was running the house. And so essentially, if you like can see up here, the this very top cable is like the one coming from the backside of the battery switch, and then on the other side of that switch is the battery. And then this is like from here, it goes all the way back to the motor. So it's a rather long run for all the battery cables, unfortunately, just because of where the switches are located. But then in between the 2 battery cables is where this is the original one, which is the one in the back going off here to the left. It goes back to a breaker in that same like switch panel that's for the windlass, and so that's powering the windlass. But here I've stolen the power, you know, for that port motor off to go to DC to DC chargers that I have down here. So I have one for the starboard engine, one for the well, that's the starboard engine one actually over there, and this one over here is for the port engine. I thought it would make sense as you look at them right, left. So anyhow, but so that's powering the input of the DC to DC charger over here. And then these 2 below that, both of those are essentially like running these ACS, like they both go to these ACSs. So it's essentially a way to like take everything on the ACSs is on sort of the switched side of the batteries, meaning you have the batteries on, the engines are like running or whatever, and you can see that they're flashing. And they would only be green when they're like allowing power across, but it's essentially like a mechanism that I think this has got the thruster battery on it. And so, and then this is like the charging output. So there's like 3 here, one for the, I don't know which ones are which. I probably have them labeled somewhere. I think the middle one is for the starboard, so this is port, starboard, and then thruster battery. And so it comes here, and then this also just goes out to the thruster battery, I think. And then this is that bottom cable there, and then man, I'm like having a struggle on remembering. I think it's this output is the middle one. But it's essentially like we'll let the port battery charge the thruster battery, and the starboard battery charge the port battery. So that way if you're like down on voltage on one or the other, it like allows them to sort of equalize and use the alternator charging for those. And then like I said, I got these DC to DC chargers down here. Those are actually all going back. If you look at the other video I did, there's like a link distributor down in the lazarette, and so the link distributor runs the house. So essentially what I had to do is I pulled the original house cable off of that main sort of bus bar because this port was running the house, and so I simply just moved that original house wire. It's like down on this other bus bar now. So this is basically what used to be up there and running off the port battery, now it's here. And then this this other cable, it's running back to my links distributor, which is like getting power from the lithium batteries. And so both of the DC to DC chargers, the output sides of them, are also on that same Lynx distributor to charge back when we're running. And then this other cable here that's on this bus bar, that's just for an additional little breaker panel I put in there. I got some like USB outlets and stuff that I'm running off of there that I've added to the boat that have USB-C and A charging. They're pretty nice. That's a little transformer to go from 12 to 48 volts to power our Starlink, which I have another like outlet outside so that you can throw the Starlink on the roof and turn it on. So that's what that, and that's running off that. But the original house output, it actually runs through this wall, which is on the other side of the bathroom sink, under the sink. And so under the sink there's a set of 3 breaker panels that are all just going sort of all over the boat. And so that one feed runs all 3 of those breaker panels. You can't see, but they're like just on the other side of that wall. And so then, and these are the crazy harnesses that like Jeanneau uses as power comes off of those breakers and then like runs like everywhere back to whatever the individual devices are. So just wanted to get that on video real quick.